Hello everyone, welcome back to your physics class. I hope you all are good. In the previous video you have learnt about frictional force, its cause and the factors on which this frictional force depends. So there are two factors on which the frictional force depends. First is the nature of the surface and second is the weight of the object. So nature means that whether the surface is rough or smooth, because if the surface is smooth then the frictional force will be less, and if the surface is rough then the frictional force will be more. That means there is an effect of roughness of the surface on the force of friction. So today we will study and we will confirm the effect of roughness on friction by doing an activity. So the activity is to study the effect of roughness on friction. So for this we need two balls and two ramps. Ramps are the constructions like this, or we can say that these are the wooden planes of these, or we can say that these are the wooden constructions of this shape. Wooden block ramps are like this, and next we need aluminium foil, a crumpled aluminium foil, and a wooden table we can also take. So what we will do, firstly we will place these ramps, these wooden ramps on the wooden block, or after that we will roll the two balls one by one on these ramps. But at the foot of the one ramp we will place that crumpled aluminium foil. So when we roll the balls on these two ramps, we have to measure the distance. We will measure the distance of the ball, the distance covered by the ball when it moves on the ramp. So we will observe that the distance covered by the ball on the ramp, on that ramp will be more where there is no crumpled sheet, but where we have placed the aluminium crumpled sheet, then the distance covered by the ball at that ramp will be less. Why? Because of the force of friction, or we can say that the friction caused by the aluminium foil. Or we can do a simple activity to confirm or to study the effect of roughness on friction. For example, we can just take two balls and we will roll them on two surfaces. One surface like plain plated surface and the other is hard surface. As the plain plated surface will be smooth, so it will having less friction, and the hard surface will be rough and it will have more friction. So when we roll the balls on the two surfaces, we will observe that the distance covered by the ball on the this plain plated surface will be more than the distance covered by the ball on the hard surface, because hard surface will offer more friction as compared to the smooth surface. So we can do simple activities to study the effect of roughness on friction. Next is the types of friction. There are three types of friction. First is static friction, second is sliding friction, and third is rolling friction. These are the three types of friction. So we will study these three types of friction one by one. First is the static friction. So before going to directly to the static friction, we consider a situation. As we know that when we apply force on a body in the forward direction, then there will be an opposite frictional force acting on the body. So let us consider a situation, or we consider a box. At this box we will start to apply a little force, or in the form of push or pull. That means we will push a little this box to this side. This is the direction of applied force. When we apply a little force in this direction, then there will also be a force of friction and the object will not move. Why? Because the applied force will be balanced by this force of friction. Because as we apply a force, or as we push or pull the object in this direction, then there will be another opposite force which is known as the friction, which is pushing this box in the opposite direction. So the box will not move at all. And after that, if we increase the force applied on this box, then the force of friction will also increase. That means on increasing the applied force, the frictional force will also increase, as the box will not move. So it means the force of friction will also increase, because the box is not moving again on applying more force. So frictional force also increases. But after that, if we increase the force more, if we take 2 or 3 persons along with us and we push this box with a large force, then there will be a movement in this box. So we will study the static friction, sliding friction, and rolling friction according to this situation. So what is static friction? Static friction is the maximum amount of force of friction acting on an object when there is no movement of an object, or we can say that when it tends to move over another surface is called static friction. Means ki it is a maximum amount of force of friction which is acting on the object when there is no movement. जब वहाँ पर कोई मूवमेंट नहीं हो रही है ऑब्जेक्ट की, और जो मैक्सिमम अमाउंट ऑफ फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन है, दैट इज नोन एज स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन. और वी कैन डिफाइन इट दैट टाइप ऑफ फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स व्हेन द ऑब्जेक्ट टेंड्स टू मूव ओवर द अनदर सरफेस. जब वो कोशिश कर रहा है मूव करने की, तो उस तरह की जो फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स है उसका हम बोलेंगे स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन. सो दिस इज नोन एज द स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन. Secondly, static friction has a property of adjusting its magnitude against the applied force. How it has the property of adjusting its magnitude against the applied force? Because as we increases applied force, the force of friction increases. If we increase this applied force, then again this force of friction again increases. So in this way, static friction is adjusting itself according to the applied force. If applied force is more, then the force of friction will also be more, and if it is less, then it will also be less. So we can see that static friction has a property named as self-adjusting property, or we can say that static friction is a self-adjusting force because it has the property of adjusting its magnitude against the applied force. Next is the advantage of static force, that it helps objects from slipping or skidding, because it can firm the objects, or it can keep the objects at their place due to friction. So that's why it helps the objects from slipping or skidding. Next one is that static friction comes into play only when the applied force tends to move the body. That means we can say that when an object is at rest, or when the object is stationary, then there will be no frictional force acting on the object. It will only come into play when we apply some force on the object and tend to move the body. That means when we tend to move the body on applying the force, then only that frictional force will come into play. Otherwise, on the stationary objects there will be no frictional force. So this is about static friction. Next we will study about sliding friction. So what is sliding friction? Now the force of friction, or we can say that the applied force that we are applying on the body will increase beyond the opposing force. When the strength of the applied force increases beyond the opposing force, the object starts to slide against the surface, because as we are pushing the object, then force of friction is also counterbalancing it. If we again increase this force, friction is again increasing to counterbalance it, but it will do it up to some limit. That means जो फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स है वो इसको किसी हद तक ही है जो रोक सकता है इस बॉडी को मूव करने से रोकने के लिए. Then after that, when the magnitude of the applied force increases, then it will not be able to stop the body from moving. So after that, the body will start to slide over the surface, and when a body slides over the another surface, then that type of friction is known as the sliding friction. So what is sliding friction? That when the strength of the applied force increases beyond the opposing force, means कि जब applied force की strength फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स से, या जिसको हम अपोजिंग फोर्स भी बोल रहे हैं, उससे ज्यादा हो जाएगी, देन द ऑब्जेक्ट विल starts to slide against the surface. So the frictional force acting between two surfaces when one surface or body slides over the other surface is called sliding friction. Or we can define it that the constant frictional force required to keep a body sliding over the other surface is called as sliding friction. So this is sliding friction. Next is rolling friction. As we know, motion can be of sliding, it can be rolling, because objects can also roll. So when one body, like ball, when one body rolls smoothly over the other, then that friction comes into play is known as rolling friction. Then the type of friction that comes into play is called rolling friction. For example, when ball rolls on a plane surface, that is also having rolling friction between between the ball and the surface. Next, for example, friction between the wheels of a bicycle and the road, that is also rolling friction, because the wheels of the bicycle are rolling, so that friction will be rolling friction. As we already see that we use this rolling friction in all the heavy and lightweight objects. For example, the trolley that we use to keep the objects that has the wheels, so in that type there is also rolling friction. Next is the comparison of static sliding and rolling friction. So here we will compare these three types of friction, that which is more or which is less. So as we know, it is easy to roll a heavy box than to slide it. We want to roll every object because here we have to do less effort as compared to slide when we are going to slide the objects. So it is easy to roll a heavy box than to slide it. So it means force of sliding friction will also be always be more than the force of rolling friction, or we can say that the force of rolling friction will be less than the force of sliding friction, because this reduces our effort and frictional force. So this is the relation between sliding friction and rolling friction, or we can say that rolling friction is less than sliding friction. And further, the force required to keep a box or an object sliding over another surface is lesser in comparison to the force required to initiate the motion. What is the meaning of this statement? This means that if we have to start the motion of any object, then we have to apply more force on the object as compared to if we want to slide that object. अगर हमें किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को स्लाइड करना है तो वहां पर हमें फोर्स कम अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा एज कम्पेयर टू अगर हमें किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को का मोशन है जो स्टार्ट करना है. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन इज द मैक्सिमम फ्रिक्शन, or we can say that static friction will be more than the sliding friction. So static friction is found to be the maximum friction out of these three. So we can write this statement that rolling friction is less than sliding friction and sliding friction is again less than the static friction, or we can say that static friction is the maximum friction and rolling friction is the minimum friction, because rolling friction offers less resistance or opposition to the motion of the objects than sliding friction. So all the vehicles make use of the rolling friction. For example, we want to put the tires on the trolleys, or we want to put the tires on our suitcase and another things also, so as to make them rolling easier, so as to make the motion of that bodies easier, and there will be very less effort on that bodies. So that's why all the vehicles make use of the rolling friction. Next is to compare sliding friction and rolling friction. Now here we will compare sliding friction, rolling friction. Comparison we have done, but if we want to confirm then how sliding friction is less than, how sliding friction is more than rolling friction, then we can do an activity. So the name of the activity is to compare sliding friction and rolling friction. So for that we need a book, a thread, a spring balance, some pencils of the same size and a wooden board. So what we have to do, we will take a wooden board and we will keep a book on that wooden board. And we will tie this book with a thread, and one end of the thread is tied to book, and the other end is tied, or it is hooked with the hook of the spring balance. Spring balance, you all know, this is the device with which measures the force on the objects, force applied on the objects, or the weight of the objects. So when we try to measure the force required to slide this book with this spring balance, then we will push this spring balance up to some distance, say 1 meter. So we will note the amount of force required to slide this book on the spring balance, and after that we will keep some pencils underneath this book. Means कि book के नीचे हम कुछ pencils रखेंगे which will act as rulers. वो क्या rulers का काम करेंगी. So here when we will do the same thing, we will take a thread and tie it with the book, and the other end will be tied to a spring balance which will measure the force acting on the book when we push it up to some distance. So when we measure the force with the help of the spring balance to roll the book over the pencils which are acting as rollers, then it is found that, or it will be observed that the force required to roll the book will be less than the force required to slide the book. So from this we can say that rolling friction is always less than the sliding friction, because friction is also a type of force. So we can say that rolling force of friction is less than the sliding force of friction from this activity. So I hope all these topics are clear to you. Thank you.